looks at me in my face, rolls her eyes, and brushed past me with her shoulder as she's walking in my house. My house, she brushed past me with her shoulder. And I said, oh, you one of them. You're bold. You're bold today, huh? Okay, let's be bold together.
I get jealous when you don't wanna see me around. You say we're friends and slow down. Ooh, I get jealous.
My name is Nunu and welcome to my very first video. So I was watching videos on YouTube and I had seen like a bunch of videos about roommates, right? And you know, I'm already out of college, but I had a roommate when I was in high school, okay? So that's the story I'm gonna be telling. So a couple of disclaimers before I start the story. Number one, I'm gonna change names because I don't want nobody to be feeling no type of way. If you went to school with me, certain things that I will end up saying, you will end up figuring out who it is. Anyway, this happened when I was 16, so I'm not about to trip over it no more. You know, I'm grown now. But anyway, let's get into it. So, y'all, when I was younger, okay, my mom used to call me Build a Bear Workshop because I always used to befriend or talk to people who needed help. So she called me Build a Bear Workshop because every time something happened to somebody or they were going through something, I was always trying to fix their problems and help them, right? Okay, so sophomore year of high school, I knew this girl in middle school, but we just started becoming friends, like getting close with each other because she got pregnant. And you know how people get when you get pregnant, they stop talking to you, they start distancing themselves. I really don't know what that's about, but I'm not that type of person. So when I noticed that people were being really fake towards her, I'm like, you know what? Let me talk to this girl some more. So she had a best friend and she had like 2 or 3 other people she was close with, but everybody else that she was cool with started becoming really fake. So I just started hanging out with her more. So I started befriending her, and of course when you get close to somebody, what do? They end up telling you their business. I'm not the type of person to run my mouth, but for whatever reason, people feel comfortable running their mouth with me, okay? So she starts running her mouth about, you know, who she was messing around with and all that stuff. And then she starts talking about her at-home life. So she starts, we're gonna say it's her auntie. So she was staying with her auntie and she would say stuff like, oh, my auntie hates me. She makes me do this, this, and that. So like, for example, her auntie had a child too. Her auntie had a son. And so she would say, hey, I want to go out. I want to do this, that, and the other. Can you watch my son? And what we gonna name this girl? I didn't even give her a name yet. We're gonna name her Tammy. So she was like, hey, if I want to go out, I want to do this or that, can you watch my son? And Tammy would say, yeah. And then when Tammy would want to, of course, we're teenagers, so when she wants to go hang out with her friends or her boyfriend or whatever, she would say, that's not my responsibility, that's not my child. Now me, little old me, this is back when I was very understanding and very nice to everybody. I was like, I understand it from both sides. I was telling her, look, your auntie is wrong because how is she going to ask you to watch her child, and then when you ask her to watch yours, all of a sudden it's a problem. But I said I understand it from her side because, you know, nobody wants to take care of a teen mom. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, she already got to come out of her pocket to buy diapers and wipes and car seats, cribs, and all that stuff, and it's not her responsibility because that's your child and you decided to get pregnant. So I was trying to, you know, let her understand it from both sides, and she was like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it, she just treats me really bad or whatever. So I'm like, all right, you know, I'm not living with you, so I can't tell you if you're lying or not. By the way, she was a compulsive liar, but anyway. So I want to say like a week later, I'm out. I know that I was out, but I can't remember what I was doing. But once I got back in the house, I went to my room, checked my messages, and I got this message from Tammy, and she was like, hey, and I'm like, what's up? And I think it had been like 10 or 15 minutes from the time she had texted me. So when I said hey, she responded like really quickly, and I'm like, oh, because she normally doesn't respond that fast. She was like, my auntie just put me out, like I'm on the street. I'm like, what? Like, I don't, I didn't like that, of course. So I'm like, give me a second, let me go talk to my mom. So she was like, all right. So I run downstairs, and I'm like, mother. And she was like, what, girl? And I'm like, I know you don't want to hear it, but my friend, she just got put out. Like, she just told me she was on the street. And then my mom was like, what did I tell you about being Build-A-Bear Workshop? My mom was looking at me like, what'd I tell you about that? You need to stop helping everybody. Whatever, whatever, whatever. And I was like, well, she got a child. And right away, my mama got really excited because she was obsessed with babies at the time. So she was like, oh my God, where is she at? Ask her for her location. Ask her for her address. I'm going to go to the bathroom. We're going to leave in 5 minutes. I'm like, all right. So I text her back. And I'm like, girl, what is your location? Because we finna come get you. She was like, this is the location. So she sent it. And I think we were about like 20 or 25 minutes away from her because I don't want to give too much information. But she lived on the opposite side of town where I was living. That's all I'm going to say. So we went to go get her. And she was literally on the corner of the street. Like, she had a long driveway and she was at the curb where the trash cans are supposed to sit. And I'm like, I know her auntie didn't just put her out on the street for real, but I'm guessing she did, right? So we end up going home. We set her up at the house. So let me describe my house for a second. Like I said, we got 4 floors. So on the very 4th floor, there's 2 bedrooms. There's a master bedroom and a master bedroom. So my sister had the master bedroom. Then there was, so this is the master bedroom. This is the bathroom and the hallway closet. And then my room was right here. Then you got a little roundabout staircase. It wasn't spiral, but it was like curved. You walk down the curved staircase, and my mother's room was at the end. So then it repeats itself. On the 3rd floor, it was my mom's bedroom right here. It was the bathroom, hallway closet, and then this bedroom right here was my brother's. And then there was another roundabout staircase. You go there, living room, dining room, kitchen, and the kitchen had 2 ways to get in. There was, you can get in from the dining room, and then you can get in from the front door. Okay? So it would sit like this. Oh, that's weird. Okay, it would sit like this. And then you had the door that leads down to the basement. And then the basement had 2 sides. So there was a cement side. On the cement side of the basement, we had storage, washing machine, and dryer. And then we had our overflow refrigerator, which was anytime we would go grocery shopping and we had stuff that wouldn't fit in the refrigerator upstairs, we would put it in the refrigerator downstairs, right? Close that door. There's a carpet side. In the carpet side of the basement, we had got her a stand to put her baby stuff on. She had space to put her clothes and shoes and stuff. She had a TV down there. We just had a Wii and then the regular TV, DVD player, VCR player, and all the movies were down there. And then she had like a table. And of course, we got her a bed. I think I said that. I don't remember. But we got her a bed. So, she was good to go, alright? After we set her up, we gave her the rules of the house, y'all. So, the very first rule was, don't let everybody know where you lay your head. We don't get down like that. I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't taught to do that. So, it was, I mean, that's just a simple rule, right? I thought it was a simple rule. So, but yeah, when I was growing up, my mama taught me 2 things. She always told me to pay attention to my surroundings and never let nobody know where you lay your head because, you know, people be out here plotting or whatever. So that was rule number 1. Rule number 2 was she had to be in school. She wasn't just going to be parlayed up in my mother's house. Rule number 3 was she had to keep her area clean. And then rule number 4 was take care of her child. We had other rules, but those weren't really relevant to the story. So let's get into the story, y'all. That was just background. When she first moved in with us, she was homebound. If you've never been sent to an alternative school, or you've never been pregnant while in school, I don't even know how other states work, but we lived in Illinois, and ours was, you know, after you have a child, of course, you know how pregnant women get leave off work. She was able to get leave off school, so she was homeschooled. But of course, she had to be homeschooled up until her child was able to go to daycare. She had to wait until her child was of age in order to get there, right? So I'm like, okay, my mom was cool with it at first. She just was really suspect about somebody she didn't know in her house while we weren't there, which is totally understandable. She's going off based off what I said. So yeah, she was at home, and I want to say, okay, so this was a couple weeks she had already been living there. So the first couple of weeks she was staying in our house was perfectly fine. She didn't give us any trouble. It was cool, like everything like that, right? So the first thing was our bus to my neighborhood. Okay, so don't matter what part of the neighborhood you stay in, the bus doesn't come through the neighborhood. The bus wouldn't come through the neighborhood. I mean, sometimes it would come through in the afternoon, but that's because they had time. Everybody was going home. But in the morning, they would not come through the roundabout. So everybody had to go to the front of the neighborhood in order to get on the bus. So the bus will come at 8:05. I had to get up at 6 o'clock every morning because, do you see this? Do you see how simple my makeup is? I have on lipstick, eyelashes. You know, simple. And it would still take me 2 hours to get ready in the morning. So, when I would get ready for school or whatever, this particular day, I was trying to figure out why I was the only one up. I'm thinking I'm finna, you know, catch the bus with Tammy because, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, girl, we in the same grade, we friends. I'm thinking we finna catch the bus together. So I go downstairs. I'm pretty much dressed. I just don't have my shoes on, and my book bag is sitting, you know, on the couch. And I don't know if she was trying to race me or whatever. I mean, it's not really important, but I came in through the kitchen, through the dining room. She came in through the side where the front door is. She was in the kitchen, and I had to get used to the fact that nobody in my house eats breakfast. Like, nobody in my house eats breakfast. So it was really weird that she was up in the kitchen, and I knew what she was doing. I knew she was making breakfast, but it was just weird because none of us eat breakfast in the morning. And so she stayed in there with the door to the refrigerator wide open. Okay, y'all, here comes strike number one. I'm like, girl, what you finna do? You know, joking around with her because I'm really trying to figure out why you standing in this kitchen with the freaking door wide open, the refrigerator door wide open. This girl looked at me, rolled her eyes, and said, I'm fixing me something to eat. Oh, you one of them. You one of them. You catch attitudes in the morning. Ooh, girl. Child. I'm not the one to be trying it with. I'm sorry. I'm not a super duper morning person either, but calm down. So yeah, she caught an attitude. Well, she kind of caught an attitude, but she got smart with me and rolled her eyes. So I confused. I said, oh, okay. So she picked up a bag of pizza rolls out of the freezer. Now, I'm not the food police. I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't eat. I'm saying that because the days my mama didn't want to cook, she would say, hey, go in the kitchen, eat this and this for dinner because I'm not cooking today, or I'm going to be late from work, or whatever she was going to say. And the girl had picked up some pizza rolls, and I knew for a fact my mama was going to lose it because she would say something like, go in there, eat pizza rolls, Doritos for lunch. And then we had even and odd days. So on odd days we had to drink water, and on even days we had to drink juice. Y'all, my mama was so strict. But anyway, I knew that if she went in there and said, hey, this is what y'all need to eat for dinner, and one of my siblings was like, hey, the pizza rolls ain't in there, then she would have been like, I know for a fact I bought it on this day at this time and blah 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 blah, and then we would have got in trouble, right? So I'm just eyeballing her. I'm like, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not finna be the food police. But strike number one was she caught an attitude with me early in the morning. And I guess strike number two would be you didn't even ask. You, number one, walked in my refrigerator and just took something out of there. And I get you're living with us now and you want to feel comfortable. I want you to feel comfortable, you know? I want you to feel comfortable. But you still should have said, hey, is it all right if I eat this? And I would have told you no, like we're not supposed to. But I was being so nice back then. I just let her do it, right? So anyway, I'm grabbing my stuff. By this time, like I told y'all, my bus comes at 8:05, which means we had to leave the house at 8 o'clock because our bus was in the front of the neighborhood. Yes, the bus was in the front of the neighborhood. We were in the back of the neighborhood. So we had to leave at 8:05, and it's 7:50. 7:50. So while she in there heating up pizza rolls, I'm like, hey, sis, boo. Hey, the bus comes at 8:05 and it's 7:50, and she's like, oh, don't worry about it. Hold on. What we gonna name this girl? So we gonna name her Jeannie. So she's like, oh, don't worry about it. Jeannie's gonna come get me. Don't worry about it. Me? Don't worry about it? You want me to not worry about it? Okay, what was rule number one, you guys? Don't let everybody know where you lay your head. And you telling some random person to come to our house to come pick you up. By the way, Jeannie was her best friend. I don't really care. You don't see my best friend come to get me. Everybody is not supposed to know where you lay your head. All right? So that's what she did. And I was like, I'm not going to be quiet on this one. I'll let you slide with this little rolling of the eyes and all that nonsense. I'm not going to let you slide with this. So I said, who told you to invite her to my house? Said it just like that. She was like, oh, she always comes to get me. It's not a problem for her. You can ride with us if you want. Honey, I didn't ask for an invitation. I'm not jealous of your ride. I want to know who told you to bring them to my house. But look, y'all, I was 16 years old, so I was so keen on not being a snitch. So I just didn't say anything to my mama. I just rolled my eyes and I left the house, okay? I often caught her wearing my clothes or my shoes or stuff. Sometimes she would ask, you know? And that ain't a problem. That's not a problem, sweetie. It's not a problem. We're sissies. You can go ahead. You can wear my stuff. That's cool. If you ask me, I do not care. If somebody says, can I wear your jacket? Can I wear your shoes? Can I wear your pants? I'm like, girl, yeah, go ahead. Like, because you asked. Them other times when you felt like you didn't have to ask me, that's when I have a problem. Because to me, it seems like you being sneaky by taking my stuff and didn't ask me, and then you go on a slick try to put it on. Oh, I got something in my eye. Oh. So, yeah, right? So, she came to school one day, and if you don't know, if you're pregnant, or if you have a child in daycare or whatever, and your child is sick, or somebody, depending on how bad it is, if another child in the daycare is sick, they will call you and tell you to come get your kid. So, no shade, okay? Number one, I'm going to just put it out there. I can honestly tell you, as long as that girl was staying in my house, she had her child all of maybe 2 weeks. At the maximum. Maybe 2 weeks. But whenever that child was at our house, my mother will always say, why is that child sick? Nose was always running. The baby was coughing and all types of stuff, y'all. But anyway, that's besides the point. I knew for a fact that her child was the one that was sick. Nobody got that child sick. So she came up to me, right? And she was like, I was sitting outside at lunch because we don't eat in the cafeteria. So it's me, my 2 best friends, and a whole group of people that we like chill with and they're really cool. We out there, like, me and my best friend are standing up making everybody laugh. So we all out there laughing and joking and stuff. And I get interrupted by Tammy. She's like, hey, can I get the key to the house? I'm like, for why? And she's like, because I gotta go get my child from daycare or whatever. I'm like, who's coming to get you? And she's like, my baby daddy. And I'm like, does my mother know that you gonna be in our house or whatever. And she's like, yeah, I already talked to mama and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. And as me and her are steady talking, one of our best friends, I'm gonna call her Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy girl. She was looking her up and down. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all what Tammy had on this day. This is back when, number one, windbreakers were back in style, so they were really popular. And two, what are them things called? Fluxes. I don't wear them no more. They sit in my room. But these are back when the Adidas Fluxes were really popular, right? So she had on my pink and white windbreaker. Now, normally, when I go get windbreakers or something, I go thrift shopping and like Goodwill and stuff like that. Like, I go thrift shopping, and those are like $10. I'm like, yes, a steal, because I'm cheap, all right? But this particular windbreaker that she had on, I knew for a fact was $50 because it was in a department store in the mall. So I know for a fact that was one of my expensive windbreakers. And two, I have never worn that one yet, so I was pissed about it. Yeah. So she had on my windbreaker. I don't know if those were her khakis or my khaki pants that she had on, because we went to a uniform school. I don't know if they were her khakis or my khakis, but I know I only owned one pair of khakis because I can't fit regular pants. So, and then she had on my fluxes. I'm the type of person, well, now I don't care, but back in the day, I did not used to embarrass people. I don't like embarrassing people. I would either pull you to the side, or if I just felt like it was too many people around, I would just wait till later to address you when we were by ourselves, right? So I noticed that she had on my windbreaker for a fact. I don't know if those were my khakis, but she had on my shoes. Now, she asked me to wear my shoes, but she asked the week before. When you ask the week before, they don't give you the right to keep wearing them. You know what I'm saying? That's what she did. So, my best friend looked her up and down, and she's like, you look cute. And Tammy was like, oh, thank you. Like, yeah. Now she feeling good about herself, until my best friend said, yeah, where'd you get your shoes from? I know Lauren got the same pair. I looked at my best friend. I'm like, why would you say that? And this girl completely rolled her eyes and walked off. I'm like, so that was strike number, was it 2? Am I on 2 or 3? I think it's 3. Strike number 3 was she was stealing my clothes. Okay. Let's see. Situation. It's not really a situation, but I'm going to bring it up. We came home one day, and I realized she was on the phone with my mother. And I'm like, what the fuck is she on the phone with my mother for? Excuse my language. But, she was like, hey, mama, can I have company? And I'm like, I know she didn't just ask to have company. I'm not even comfortable sitting around in other people's houses if I'm there to spend the night. So how are you comfortable? I don't know. Some people just are raised differently. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, she was like, hey, mama, can I have company? My mom was like, is your schoolwork done? She was like, yeah. My mama said, is your child okay? She was like, yeah. My mama was like, who you trying to have over? She named a dude's name. By the way, y'all, this girl is in a relationship with her baby father. So why are you trying to invite other dudes besides your baby father? She named, I knew who he was too. He didn't even go to our school. That's number 1. He went to our opposing school. And 2, he had a girlfriend. So what y'all got going on? So anyway, she did that, and of course my mama shut that all the way down. And she said, we don't do that. My mama said, we don't do that. No, we're not having mail company. The only mail company you're gonna have is your baby father, and even then, he not gonna be over there all times of the night or while I'm not there. So no, ma'am. And she was like, oh, okay, well, can I go out later? And my mama was like, yeah, just be back at whatever time she gave her. She said, because y'all not gonna be running in and out my house all day. So she was like, okay. Hung up the phone. I just want to say that because I've never been bold enough to just invite somebody. That's not what I do. But anyway, so moving on. So this is a situation what situation are we on? Number 4. So I'm gonna stop numbering them because I really don't know, to be honest. But